All right, it could still happen, but it doesn't look likely today. The Dow Jones Industrial still trending down, so that quest for 20,000 still about 89 points off. This would be, if we were down today, 3 days in a row, something we've not seen in the better part of 7 years in a market like this. Having said that, though, the fact of the matter is that November new home sales beat estimates, 7 weeks, I should say. It's 7 years. It has been a long week, and it really hasn't been that long a week. We've got home sales up, new home sales up at a better than 5% clip. And we've got mortgage rates also running at a better than 4.17% clip for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, about 3.32% as I'm showing you there for a 15-year mortgage. And again, it's all about getting used to something or where your perspective or time horizon is. And a fellow old guy like me, Hovnanian CEO Ara Hovnanian, and I were commiserating about that when I first got my mortgage with my wife. I mean, we were looking at 13.5%. You enlightened me, but yours was...
My first mortgage was 18%
Wow.
in 1981.
Yeah, so I was a couple of years later. But perspective is everything, right? And so for a lot of young buyers who've gotten used to, you know, sub 4% mortgages, that's an adjustment. And lenders aren't making it any easier, right? So is this going to be a tough nut to crack?
You know, as long as they don't spike too quickly and too high, I'm not very concerned.
It's been a smart jump here. Are you worried? Or?
No, 4.17. Neil, if we went back 10 years ago, in your dreams it would never get this low. So I'm not concerned. Will buyers have to consider a 3,000 square foot home instead of a 3,200 square foot home?
Is that what they do? What,
yes.
You have communities all types. You have townhomes, high-end homes, medium.
Absolutely.
So all price points. What do your customers do?
To put it to the extreme, go all the way back to 1981 when mortgage rates were 18%.
Wow.
The more homes were sold and started in that year than right now at 4%. The difference is they scaled back in size. Townhouses were much more popular because of affordability.
Sure.
So buyers need shelter. It's pure demographic. So,
but are there as many seeking that shelter to own or to rent? I mean,
you know, that's a huge question, but I've seen survey after survey. The millennials, which are a huge group demographically, have been postponing moving out of the house. They've been postponing getting married. They've been postponing having children and then moving out to the suburbs. But the key word is postponing. They're not changing their mind. Survey after survey shows they're going to get married, they're going to have children, and they're going to buy a house. They're just waiting longer than the baby boom generation did before them.
You know, and some of the things that we valued or thought, grew up thinking were worthy goals, owning a home, whatever, a lot of young people don't. I'm not saying most. I have no idea to quantify how many. But I can't say the number of people I bump into saying, well, my parents were burnt in the meltdown, so they don't trust Wall Street. They don't really like that at buying a home. They might have seen a parent lose a home. Okay. So they're leery of all the things that, let's say, we valued or thought were part of the given stages of life. Getting married, all of that, to your point. So this makes them a stubborn bunch when all of a sudden interest rates tick up.
You know, I don't even think it's directly related to that. I just think my own son is 26. He's a millennial. He's just not of the mindset of getting a house, settling down. It has nothing to do with what happened to the housing market. It just has to do with a change in mindset with today's generation. They're just waiting.
Of course, he is. You as a dad and probably thinking it changed. I mean, I've done okay. What about where rates go? And you're quite right. I've checked this out. Our biggest housing booms have occurred in a period of rising rates, which does make sense. It reflects a booming economy, what have you. But these levels are nothing approaching what we had in prior, recoveries from housing downdrafts, which is sort of like this whole recovery. It's been weak, which elected Donald Trump, if you think about it. So what are you looking forward to in the next few years?
I think, in the end, the engine that's behind the housing market is demographics. The population's growing. Demographics are working well. Millennials are getting to their prime home buying ages soon. And I think that's all going to be very favorable.
They don't have the incomes to come with it. And the job gains we have seen, sounds like I'm being a wet blanket. I don't mean to be. A lot of them are part-time jobs or not as well-paying jobs.
But overall, Neil, we look at what's known as the affordability index. It measures the average income necessary to buy the average home, compares it to average incomes, and it hasn't been this good in decades. Yes, it was a little bit better in the last 2 years, but overall, if you look at affordability over the long term, it hasn't been this good in decades. It's a very good level.
Donald Trump has said it's all about jobs, good-paying jobs. He's going to make that the centerpiece of his administration. Best of luck to him. I think if you're Republican, Democrat, and doing that, that's great. What will the housing fallout be?
You know, I think obviously jobs as they grow help housing. This has been a more sluggish recovery in jobs and housing, but that's a good thing. I think rather than a boom-bust cycle and a fizzle-out, this is going to be a gradual cycle, I think like 91. That was a 15-year up cycle, nothing booming, but gradually getting better and better, and I think that's what we're feeling.
Those last couple of years were awful.
04 and 05 were crazy good, too good, as it turns out. But I'd rather
we'll return to that kind of giddiness where...
We will.
We will.
We've been in business. My father founded the company in '59. We've been through a lot of booms and busts. You always get to the madness. This is actually better than the madness, just a gradual recovery. But it will peak and it will get it into a frenzy at some point.
All right. Thank you very, very much.